Fun fact, this video has been in development for a long time, because update after update after update after update, and me working on other shit, it's officially rumored that Pokemon is replacing Lost Continent. But I'm still sharing my opinion because I need the money, okay? Let me share why Universal doesn't need Pokemon. So first, let me give some insight. Now, supposedly, the original plan is that Universals are going to replace Simpsons Land with Pokemon. And it makes a lot of sense. Simpsons is now owned by Disney, and Disney is Universal's major rival in the movie theme park world. The Simpsons is now owned by Disney, and Disney is Universal's rival in the movie theme park world. And trust me, it makes much more sense to get rid of Simpsons than Marvel. As for Pokemon, this rumor has been floating around for a decade now. Shortly after Universal announced their partnership with Nintendo, however the catch is Nintendo doesn't really own Pokemon. Yes, they own the video game distribution rights, but Pokemon being the biggest media franchise in the world is its own thing, owned by its own people. Universal has already gotten the rights to Pokemon in Universal Studios Japan, and in case you're wondering, location does work differently. For example, the pre-Disney Marvel rights. Universal owns the theme park rights to Marvel in the East Coast, while the West Coast, Disney can do, if not license to whoever they want. So far, all we got in are parades and dance parties. What do you expect? It's a family theme park in Asia, but not a ride yet. However, I think Pokemon is 100% gonna get a ride in Universal Japan, and rumor has it that this Pokemon attraction is gonna replace the now closed Japanese version of The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. And as someone who's been to Universal Japan earlier last year, I can confirm that the former building has turned into paper sheet walls, or whatever they're called, so construction of this replacement is definitely on the way. And also, I am still bummed that I will never get to ride the Japanese version of my favorite ride at Universal. Oh well, circle of life. Now on to the States. Remember when I said rights work differently with locations? Well, rumor has it, back in fall of 2025, Universal had trouble bringing Pokemon to the States, particularly Orlando. And as a result, they want to extend the Simpsons licensing from their rumored 2028 expiration. And shocking enough, they did. Probably because Disney doesn't even want Simpsons, or Disney just doesn't care about rights. I doubt that. So then I realized, come on, Universal does not need Pokemon. And there's a huge reason why, and that's because of Mario. Super Nintendo World, which for the rest of the video we will only be calling Mario Land, has animatronics and interactivity all over the land. And what does that have to do with Pokemon? Well, that's because, in my opinion, Pokemon is required to have a land of similar additions. Now, given that the minds of the world are diverse, I trust Universal to make a loophole. But a franchise with monkeys who uses their tails as paintbrushes and egg trees, I think that would make a lot more sense. Pokemon at this day and age is required to have a land. Unfortunately, we can't have just simple buildings anymore, not to mention both coasts of Universal parks. Now you might be asking, what about just have Pokemon in Orlando? Well, you gotta remember, biggest franchise in the world. So it'll make sense financially to put it on both coasts. Here's everything that's on both coasts. Mario Land, Hogsmeade, Simpsons, Transformers, Revenge of the Mummy, Jurassic Milk to Death franchise. Now I'm all for exclusives, but if you did this for such a long time, people are gonna expect Pokemon. Now you could just replace something else, but you'll be alienating half of your future customers because Transformers, sci-fi action about turning into cars, Revenge of the Mummy, adventure about magical dead Egyptians. You're getting rid of the diversity of Universal Hollywood just for another cutesy video game franchise or another cutesy franchise. So in my opinion, from a business standpoint, it's either Mario or Pokemon. A question that should have been asked a long time ago. And maybe was asked a long time ago, but either Universal ignored it, stopped to think, or thought they had it all figured out. But until we know an answer when we all go to heaven, that's the end of the video. And also, Simpsons is not staying forever.